Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Happy Halloween for those of you that are celebrating Halloween today. You can see behind me we have a little Happy Halloween photo booth from a party that we had with the kiddos. I am Travis Chalemi. I am a business leader with Blooming Sales Tupperware, and welcome to part 2 of our boot camp, our tech boot camp for FSRC. The first one, we covered Google Contacts, and today we're going to be talking about this tool that we are looking at right now, which is Facebook. And so I'm going to just wait to get a thumbs up that I know that I am live. And am I live? Okay, we're good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Facebook, and there's a couple of little preamble things I want to talk about prior to digging into sort of the tech nerdy stuff. As I've shared with you all before, is in my previous life and in my freelance life, I do consulting for web and communications and social media, those sort of things. And Facebook is one of those things, like many of these tools, that we oftentimes aren't trained on them. Just like Outlook or Word or Excel, email, text messages, your smartphone. I mean, oftentimes we don't have like official training. And so what we do is we sort of are just brought along. You know, it's sort of assumed, okay, here's your desk, you sit down, and, you know, here's your email, and it's assumed that you're supposed to know everything that you're supposed to do with the tool. And Facebook's sort of the same way, right? A lot of us come to Facebook because somebody says, oh my gosh, I want to share this with you. Are you on Facebook? And then we say, I don't know what Facebook is. Believe me, there was a time when people did not know what Facebook was. And then you would join, and then you would say, oh, hey, this is really fun. I can post pictures on here. I can share it with old classmates, with family members, that sort of thing. And it's over time, it's just grown and grown and grown, where now we have all sorts of things that we're doing with Facebook. You can buy houses on Facebook. You can send money to people on Facebook. You can find out which cartoon character you are most like on Facebook. There's all sorts of things that you can do on Facebook. And so the first part of sort of this preamble is that I really encourage all of you to take a look at the social media policy that is provided by Tupperware. Because there are a number of things that we are allowed to do. There are a number of things that we are not allowed to do. And what I see is, I see a lot of two different things. One, I see people who are in violation of the social media policy. And I would say 99% of the time it's because they just don't know. They've never taken time to review the policy, or maybe they reviewed the policy when they first came to Tupperware, and then, you know, they said, oh, I'm just here for the discount. I'm never going to do that. And then, you know, a couple months later, they're in setting up some Facebook pages or groups, and they've forgotten about the policy. So the first thing I would suggest is review that social media policy. If you have questions, reach out to your business leaders or your directors about those. And directors, if you have questions, reach out to your business leaders. We're not going to cover that policy today. You are all capable of reading. You're all literate. And so, but please take the time to do that, okay? It is super important for your business. The next thing I want to talk about today is, you know, Facebook, like a lot of online cloud-based tools, has multiple ways you can interact with it, right? And so right now I'm on my laptop computer, and I'm connected via that way. Many of us use Facebook, in fact, most of us use Facebook primarily on our mobile phone, our smartphone, but even your watch, refrigerators, believe it or not, more and more things, your car, more and more things are becoming connected to the internet and to the interwebs, as it were, and you can interact with Facebook. Why do I bring this up? Because some of what I'm going to talk about today are features you only find when you're on the desktop computer environment. And so I just wanted to sort of bring that to your attention, because if I'm showing you how to do something and then you pull out your phone and you say, I can't find that, I don't know how to do that, something must be wrong, something must be broken. There are certain features you can only do on the desktop environment. There are also some features you can only do when you're on the smartphone environment, okay? And so just wanted to let you know that there are some inconsistencies. Sometimes they roll features out to the desktop and then bring them over to the smartphone. Sometimes it's the opposite, where they, I got a note to turn the mic up, so I'm going to boost the mic a little bit here. There we go. Hopefully that will clear that up. Sometimes there are things that they put on the mobile environment first and then they bring to the desktop. So if you notice some inconsistencies, here's the good news. Most of the features that I'm going to be talking about today are in both environments. Okay, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. One side note to that, I do recommend that you use the desktop environment whenever possible when you're working your business with Facebook. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, I really do believe that the desktop environment is offers the most bug-free experience, where you won't run into little things as often as you do on the mobile environment. I think we're better when we're on a phone typing things or text translating things on a mobile device. We tend to do incomplete communications because we're sort of in that texting mode, and so we might be using language or emoticons or something that aren't going to translate really well to your general audience. And so I really do think that the desktop environment is the best, but I will leave that up to you. Okay, then the last thing I wanted to bring up is just a friendly word of advice, particularly in the United States during this particular season politically. It's a friendly reminder to everyone to really watch what you're posting online. Now, I know many of you might have several Facebook properties, right? You might have your personal page, then you might have a business page, then you might have a group for your team or something along those lines. And sometimes what I hear from people is, well, you know, I keep everything very professional on my group page or my group, or I keep everything very professional on my business page, but on my personal account, I post whatever I want. And here's the thing. People are snooping. People are watching. You are asking oftentimes to come into people's homes. You're saying, invite me into your home and I want to do a home party with you. And it is not unusual at all. In fact, if I can get a thumbs up or a heart or something along those, for how many of us snoop people online? All right, when we meet somebody, we meet a kid's parents or something along those lines. How many of us go into Facebook and say, oh, I'm going to go look them up. I'm going to, see what kinds of things they're interested in and those sort of things. If when they arrive at your personal page, it is wrought with angry political statements, profanity, inappropriate photos, anything like that, that's saying something about you, and therefore it's saying something about your business. For better or for worse, we live in a world now where there's more transparency than there ever has been. And so, so just would encourage you all that if you're taking this seriously as a business, that even in your personal Facebook account, try to keep it as positive and as business friendly as possible. So that's enough for the soapbox side of things. Let's talk about some technical stuff. So I'm going to switch over now to Facebook and video stream here. And what we're looking at here is a Facebook page. This particular page is a public-facing page that we have set up to encourage people that are in our community to come find out and get some information about what we're doing with Tupperware, where we're from. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do, I'm going to open a different tab here because I want to show you some do's and some don'ts with your individual personal profile page. So this is my personal profile page. And there are some things on here I want to bring to your attention. I've got some do's and some don'ts here. So one of the things I've noticed about a lot of folks is that when they go to your personal Tupperware page, they have no idea that you're a Tupperware consultant. right? So we have this intro here where you can write a bio about who you are and the fact that you sell Tupperware. You can add a work history here of places you've lived, places you've worked before. And so one thing I would encourage that you do is you make sure that you fill this section out. So many of you don't have the fact that you're a Tupperware consultant in there. You can see I have that I'm a business leader, but I don't have a bio in here. So shame on me, right? I need to get in there and produce a bio, maybe explaining some of that. So that would be the first thing. You can see I have a violation here. What about this guy? Here is a sort of political related post where I'm talking about Sinead O'Connor. Now this isn't an overly political post, but this is a good idea of something that if somebody came to my personal page, would they feel comfortable having me in their home? Maybe they're a big Sinead O'Connor fan, or maybe they love CNN or whatever it might be. So this is the sort of thing we want to be mindful of. Up here, I have a violation here, which is I don't have a picture of myself. We are in a business where we are creating relationships with people, and I have a cartoony picture right here. Now, it looks somewhat like me, but if somebody were wanting to book a party with me, they want to know what I look like. Oh, I remember that guy. He's the guy that was at the boat show or the vendor event, the Christmas bazaar, whatever it might be. So for those of you that don't have your actual photo here, that's something that you might want to reconsider. Then I've got my wallpaper behind this round photo. I have the wallpaper behind there, and I've got little computer-generated members of my family there. But again, this is a great opportunity here to say, hey, you know, my name is Susan, and I'm a mother, and I'm this, and I'm also a Tupperware consultant. I love all three. I love being a mother, I love being a volunteer, and I love being a Tupperware consultant. It doesn't have to be over-salesy, right? You don't have to go put this week's specials or the recruiting bid right into your header on your personal page. But having it mention Tupperware in there is something that I think is a good thing. Next thing I'll mention about this is you want to change these from time to time, because here's what happens. When I go and I change this cover photo up at the top, or I change my profile picture, anybody who's friends with me gets a notification that says Travis updated his cover photo. And some of them are going to say, oh, I wonder what they did. They go and look at the cover photo, and there it is, you know, a picture of you in your kitchen making awesome Christmas treats using Tupperware products. And instantly you've triggered something in their head. They're going to say, oh, that's right, I forgot. She sells Tupperware. I'm going to reach out to her. Okay, so my first piece of advice, that's all to say, watch what you're posting on your personal page. Avoid political things like I have here on this page. Make sure that you have a bio in here, that you talk about the fact that you sell Tupperware. Make sure you put a personal photo of yourself in there so people can see what you look like and remember you from events. And use this up at the top, your cover photo. Use that cover photo to promote your business. And like I said, it doesn't have to be over salesy, but be proud of it. Be proud of what you're doing. Okay, now I know Angie's monitoring the questions, so thank you for that. I'm going to move right along to a discussion about posting. Well, actually, we're going to talk about pages or groups. Okay, so after you get your personal stuff set up, oftentimes what happens is people say, hey, I want to set up a page or I want to set up a group to promote my business. And again, go back to looking at Tupperware social media policies. They very much have restrictions on some of the things that you can and cannot post. But what you are allowed to do is set up, for example, a group that you invite people to that group, and maybe that's your VIP group, okay? And you say, this is the group I'm going to invite my customers to, where I can talk to them about events that I'm doing, I can talk to them about the sales that are taking place and those sort of things, and that's a great idea. Some people have taken the route of creating a page, and they create a page where they're posting the events that they're talking about and those sort of things. There are pros and cons to pages and groups. Each one in sort of Facebook's ecosystem has a different purpose. A page is more geared toward communication. That's two-way communication, meaning I'm saying something as the owner of the page, and people that are on the page are able to comment on what I say. Generally, that's how they're used. Okay, so I might post on a page, hey, the pressure cooker, what a great recruiting time, think about joining my team, da da da. And then people that are part of my page could then respond to that, okay? Groups are more for community, meaning I post something on there and someone else could respond to that and someone else could post potentially on there, and you have this sort of community group taking place and all the features that are part of that. So you're going to want to give some consideration to whether you want to set up a page or a group. And really think about how do you plan to use it, because it's not always an easy answer which one you should set up. So for example, we have on ours a public facing page, and we have, and that's this here, this public facing page, and then we have a private or closed group, sorry, not private group, a closed group for our team, for our company. The public-facing page, again, lots of reasons why we love the public-facing page, because people can ask, they can follow this page, they can ask questions on this page, we can post photos on this page, we can post videos on this page, we can run ads for this page. So if we have an event that's taking place within a bingo event that's happening in a certain town, we could run a Facebook ad that's promoting that event, right? Hey, just to let you know, if you are in the Newburgh area on this day, we're doing a Tupperware bingo. You should come check it out, right? Those are things that you can do when you have that page sort of scenario. Again, that's more for the public-facing. Then you have the group, which is more of a private, more restricted sort of environment. So if you have further questions about that, because we could talk about that alone, we could talk about for 2 hours. Pages or groups, groups or pages, pages or groups. And so if you have questions about that, make sure you hit up in the comments regarding that. Let me get a sip here. Okay, so the next thing I want to cover is whether you're in a page or a group or on your personal timeline, let's talk about posting, okay? Let's talk about how to post. I'm going to pretend that I'm right here. This is our company page, or our page. And let's say that I want to write a post that's announcing we are having a Tupperware bingo, okay? So some things that we can do with this post. We're having a Tupperware bingo. We can change the design of this, right, with these little icons on here on the bottom. So I can dress this up a bit if I want to. Now, I will tell you, use these judiciously. Some of these can make things difficult to read. Like I don't think anybody wants to see Tupperware bingo with a flaming skull behind it. I generally tend to leave things somewhat tame. Again, you might think it's funny and clever, but you have to realize this person may be viewing this on their mobile phone and it's difficult to read. So the first thing is with your message here, we want to make sure that we're using these judiciously. Okay, next thing with this, you want to do a post and you want to have call to action in your post. So often I see posts that are just missing that simple, what do you want me to do now? So this says we are having a Tupperware bingo, June 14th at the Community Center in, okay, so this Community Center in Boulder, I said, so I'm making this up. I may want to put the address in. I want to put the time in. Okay, we're having a Tupperware Bingo June 14th at the Community Center in Boulder, 123 17th Street, 6 to 8 p.m. Now, one of the things you'll notice, I'm not creating an event for this yet. Okay, I could go in and just create an event. The reason I'm showing you this way first is because events behave differently depending on if you're on a page or if you're on your personal page or if you're on a group. So this is just an announcement that we're doing this event. Okay, I will still follow up later and create an event. When I say create an event, I don't know if they can see my cursor. I don't think they can, but you can see up here above this message, there's an event. I can actually create a Facebook event for this. But this is more like the save the date. And so I'll even put that in here, a call to action. What is your favorite bingo memory? Or what is your favorite piece of Tupperware? Or what snacks would you like to see at the Tupperware Bingo? Or who are you bringing with you to your Tupperware Bingo? You want to try to elicit a response. So we're telling them what we're doing, when we're doing it. You want to try to elicit a response. Have that call to action there for them. Now, one of the things I want to, that's very, very important is to think about when you post. So we talked a little bit about what I'm posting, when you post. Now, oftentimes what happens is we just post it right now. What we want to be is conscious about that. If you're working your business at 1 in the morning, posting to Facebook at 1 in the morning is generally a terrible idea. Because what happens is most of those people, that post is going to go into their feed, and it's going to get buried by things that happen in the general news cycle. So that's going to be buried, and they may not see it. So you want to really think about when is the best times to post. Okay, when are people on Facebook? Now, if you have a Facebook group or a Facebook page, you can look at the analytics and find out when they're on. But what we generally know is in the morning, people check Facebook before they go to work. We know when they're at work, they're checking it during lunchtime. We know that they're checking it after dinner, and they're sitting around watching the television. How many of you watch television or after dinner you spend some time online? Those are generally the times we know people are checking this. So that would be the time you want to post this. So if I'm sitting there at 1 in the morning working my business, I'm going to come right here to where it says share now, and I'm going to schedule this. So I've created this post, and I'm going to come in here and schedule this and say, you know what? I don't want to post this now. I want to post this. I want to go into November. I want to post this tomorrow morning at, let's see, 8 a.m. Get this in there. There we go. So I'm going to schedule this post to go out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So I'm going to schedule this. Okay, it's telling me you're doing this later, and I'm going to go ahead and click schedule. Now, look how smart Facebook is. It says, hey, are you actually doing this as is this an event? If we do it as an event, then we can do all sorts of wonderful other things. For right now, I'm just going to publish this as a regular post. And it's thinking about it, and then that post is created. So my page is going to refresh here. The internet's a little bit slow. And so you'll see here, I now have on my Facebook page, I have this little box that shows up at the top that's telling me I have one scheduled post for tomorrow at 8 a.m. And then I can review that post, I can edit that post, I can delete that post, whatever I need to do. So scheduling posts, you guys, so that's how you do it on a page. I'm going to flip over to a group. So now we're on our Facebook group here, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in something here. Same sort of thing as I'm typing in a message here. Okay, now notice this looks different, right? Because we're in a Facebook group, so this looks a little bit different. So down here I get this little clock. So I'm going to click on this clock, and it's going to give me the option. When do you want to schedule this? I want to schedule this for tomorrow morning at some other time. Okay, so I can schedule this. Now notice that here's one of the things that's different about pages and groups. Pages allow you to backdate. I can put posts on my page and backdate them. Groups, you cannot backdate. All right. So if you want to, if you're using your, if the content you want to deliver, if you want to backdate that for some reason, you're going to want to be using a Facebook page. So that's just one of those slight differences between here. But you can see here, same thing in a group. Now I have this little, I have one scheduled post, and then I can go in and edit that post if I want to. Let the internet catch up here. You can see right here, this is a post for me. It's scheduled tomorrow at 6:26. I can tell this that I want to delete this post, or I could reschedule the post, or I could go ahead and post it right now. Different options I have there. I'm going to delete this one here. And so that post is deleted. Okay, so one of the most powerful things I think you can use for your business, for your Facebook group, is to sit down and write your posts ahead of time. So rather than trying to hammer